Hey everyone.
Hi.
Welcome back to the podcast.
You just finished your workout?
I did. Looking scruffy.
Looking handsome.
Feeling good.
Well, talk about showing up for our real life, like I talk about in my book. We just got asked to do a very new and very scary thing.
TEDx,
like the TED Talks. They want us to be a performer / me to be a speaker this Thursday. And I would be lying if I didn't tell you I was equal parts excited and nervous.
I mean, this is pretty cool. This is something that has been pretty influential in your life. And I think in a lot of people that you look up to, that we both look up to and respect, like Brene Brown and
I met them
Bono
through their TED Talk, which is why I'm freaking out, because I am in no way on par with Bono or Brene Brown. But you know what? This episode is all about debunking that. Like, I don't need to be that. I need to be me.
Right.
And I just need to show up for my real life. And
for 9 minutes.
9 minutes seems so long to me, but I'm going to show up for those 9 minutes. So we thought it'd be pretty fun to try out the talk on you. It's not perfected. It's like in first draft form. But I thought we want to let you into the process. You sometimes just see us on stage when things are polished up. What is it like behind the scenes when we're working on the polishing up, you know? And
I mean, this is what I look like, not polished up. So well, just for you.
Then I'm a lucky woman because I'm not mad about it.
I like that.
But how do you do things scared? How do you do what my book says, ditch perfect and show up for your real life, even on your worst hair day, your best hair day in sweatpants or sequins? What does it look like to do something you don't feel quite prepared to do, but you know you've got to step into it? That's what this episode is all about. Hey, I'm Jodi.
And I'm Chris.
And we are Love and the Outcome. Welcome to our podcast.
We're a husband and wife who rock out together.
We're parents of Milo and Ziggy.
And we're following Jesus as best we can.
Our story began in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where we fell in love, got married, and decided to sell everything and travel in our Jetta, selling CDs out of the trunk of our car.
The road led us to Nashville, where we signed a record deal, started our family, and now the four of us travel together in our minibus, White Neptune.
I know, crazy, right? Our life is a road trip.
And we want to invite you into it.
So come along for the ride as we chat with some of our favorite people about family, spirituality, wellness,
and of course, music.
Come on, let's go.
This podcast is brought to you by Hope and Healing International.
For $30 a month, $1 a day, you can sponsor a life-changing surgery for a little boy or girl living in Africa. We're talking about club feet, cleft palates, going from blindness to sight. In 1 year, you can literally send a healing hug and change a child's life.
If you'd like more information, go check out the website at lovehealinghugs.com, and you can see video of our buddy Bernard.
This is my son, Bernard. He wants so much to be and play like the other children. But he can't. Instead, he suffers every day. As a father, I would do anything for my son. I love him, but sometimes this is not enough. They say they can heal my boy. I told them I work hard, but I have no money to pay for it. They told me someone in Canada is paying to heal my son.
For over 100 years, Hope and Healing International has helped break the cycle of poverty and disability for thousands of children in the poorest communities. But we can't do it alone. For $30 a month, you will directly fund the surgeries, medical care, and rehabilitation for a child who would otherwise go untreated. A child just like Bernard. We will send you a picture of every child you help, their treatment plans, and progress reports. And each child we treat on your behalf will receive this bear to hug on their journey ahead. All you have to do is go online or call now. It's that simple.
Thank you for making my son smile again.
And now it's time for coffee time with Chris, what he's really thinking as he stares off into the distance at 7 a.m.
Spike Lee, today. I'm going to talk about the Oscars, travesty. He was not nominated again for Da 5 Bloods. It was a great movie. Vietnam War movie about 4 Black American soldiers that go back 30 years later, I guess it is, and I guess they had hidden some golds, hidden some treasure, and they go back, and just the stories, and Delroy Lindo is fantastic, and they overlooked all of it, so way to go, Oscars.
Oh no.
Spike Lee is one of my favorite directors. He's made some incredible movies, Malcolm X, Inside Man. Works with Denzel a lot.
Yeah.
Also one of my favorites. So,
man,
yeah,
that's just not fair.
I mean, it's not fair.
Life isn't fair.
Cheers, Spike.
Since this episode is all about my book, I thought maybe you should grab one. Why don't you head over to
www.IamJodiKing.shop.
Thank you. And pick up a copy. It's called You Got This, A Guide to Ditching Perfect and Showing Up for Your Real Life. It's a daily devotional, and it's not a devotional that's gonna like snooze you, put you to sleep, be like, oh, I have to hit all of these marks to be a good Christian woman. No, we're all on a journey together. It's really about showing up consistently, even when life throws you curveballs. So go grab a copy. I think it's pretty funny that I've been asked to talk on my book entitled You Got This when I don't feel like I've got this. This has been one of the hardest years of my life. It's probably been one of the hardest years of your life too. So what does it mean to keep showing up for your real life day after day when your real life is really hard? I want to talk all about this because I'm a girl, a touring musician, a mom, a wife who's been home off the road for the last, a whole year. No applause, no stages, no shows, none of the things that really bring me to life, just home, trying to figure out how to keep showing up when I feel like my life is falling apart. Maybe you felt like that this year too, with all the rearranging. Maybe you're homeschooling, you're working from home, just all of the things. It's messy, it's crazy, but we keep showing up. When I was little, I sang in my hairbrush, like from the time I could hold the hairbrush. Literally my whole entire life, the dream has been to be a singer, to write songs and to sing my songs and share them with the world. My mom tells a really embarrassing story of when I was very small in Sunday school. She came to pick me up and she asked the teacher, like, how is Jodi? Is she well behaved? And my teacher would say, yeah, except when it came time to worship, to stand and sing, she told all her classmates to sit down and listen to her new song. Nothing has changed. I am still telling everybody to sit down and listen to my new song. And I'm glad, I've never learned how to sit still and be quiet. I've always wanted to stand up and sing my song. And who we are as little kids says so much about who we really are. It's just we grow up and we get so serious and we get so concerned with being liked. We get so concerned with approval, applause, fitting into the boxes people want us to fit in, mimicking other people's content, mimicking other people's lives. how do we lose that little piece of us, that innocence, that sweet spot, those moments when we're small, where our hair stands up on end, when we're doing the thing that we were tailor-made to do? Do you have space in your life for those things? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about your passion being your paycheck. It does not have to be. You don't have to make a living off of that special thing that lights you up inside. For my mom, it's gardening. When she's in the garden, she feels like she is exactly where she was meant to be. And she's not a gardener by trade. She just loves it, and she makes space for it in her life. So we got to make space for these things that bring us to life. Fast forward from the hairbrush moments into real microphone moments. Again, I want to be a singer so bad, but I'm this girl from the prairies in the middle of Canada. There are no examples of females doing this, never mind doing it for a living. You know, it's singing in church on Sundays. That's all I've ever seen, and it's mostly men. So I start getting these little opportunities. You know, I sing in my school play, and I lead some worship at my youth group on Sundays. Then I get called, I get to make $50 singing a radio jingle. I think my very first radio jingle was, "You're at home with Dufresne." It was a comfy couch, you know, lounge chair type situation, and I was helping them sell. And I thought it was the best thing on the planet. I got a check for $50, and it was like, okay, my life has literally just begun. And so that's how it went for me. I kept showing up. I kept walking through the door, sweaty and nervous and feeling like I was unprepared. But you know what? The only way to prepare is to do the thing sometimes. I sang that commercial in the studio, and nobody in the studio knew that I'd never sung in a studio. I was so sweaty and so scared, but just like kind of fake it till you make it. Just keep showing up. Fast forward a few more years, I'm doing my very first tour. I've got this little 6-song EP, and I am singing in Roots clothing stores in malls across Canada. For real. I'm in like the storefront window wearing their yoga pants and their athletic wear and singing my songs. People are like, is that a real person or a mannequin? What is happening in this store? But, you know, I'd sell about 10, 15 CDs. When people went up to buy the yoga pants, they'd buy my CD, and it was enough money to put gas in the tank. This is how dreams are made. If you are a Canadian girl in the middle of nowhere who wants to sing, this is what you do. You just get creative. My dad would book my shows. I'd call another root store, and we just kept it going. And I'd make enough from selling CDs out of the trunk of my car to get to the next show. You name a song, I've sung it. You know, like 3 set nights in bars, 2 worship on Sunday, and everything in between. Well, I meet this super hot man, and he's singing with his band in this British rock band. He's the bass player. He looks like Sting's younger brother. I'm totally in love. I mean, my whole life, all I've prayed and asked the Lord for is someone who's hot and loves Jesus. So boom, he's right in front of me. And when his drummer quits his band, I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask him to be in my band. So he joins my band. A few months later, he asked me to be his wife. We're married. We're in a band together. I mean, match made in heaven. I am just living my best life. So we get in our Jetta and we start touring together. And it's not glamorous. We are not rich and famous, but we're doing what we love with no backup plan. And we do this for about 5 years, grinding it out, playing show to show, gig to gig, and wondering, you know, did we get this wrong? Like, why is this not working yet? But yet, why am I internally still so happy and knowing that this is what I was made to do in some form or fashion? So we just kept showing up for our real life without a lot of verification or applause, just grinding it out. And you know what it taught me, even back then, is that the long road is not the wrong road. The long road is where your story is built. It's what gives you something to share. Because heaven forbid you get to the place where you have a stage and you have a platform. What a shame if you have nothing to say. These Jetta days were where we wrote our songs. It's where the story got real. We find ourselves in Nashville, Tennessee, because a friend of a friend set up a meeting for us to come sing one of our songs for this record label. well, we just did our thing. We did what we'd been doing for like 10 years, grinding it on the road with no shame. We just played our little song with a smile on our face and gave our story. Hey, we're Chris and Jodi. We're from Canada. We sold our condo to tour and make an album, and here we are. And thanks for letting us play our songs for you. Well, I can't even believe it, but they saw something and they signed us to a 6-album deal. All of a sudden, we were in the big leagues. We were a signed band. We became Love and the Outcome, and we just kept doing our thing, kept showing up in places that we felt scared and uncomfortable, bigger stages, more people. But the good news is we had practiced for 10 years. We knew who we are, and we knew what we wanted to say. I remember when the little blue check mark of verification showed up beside our Love and the Outcome band name on Instagram, and I had no idea what it meant. I called my manager. I was like, what's this blue check mark thing all about? And he's like, oh, you're verified. You hit enough followers and likes and enough people are enjoying your content that you're a verified band on Instagram. I'm like, oh, cool. I really didn't get what it meant, and I'm sort of glad. I think that we had just been motivated by sharing our songs and who we were, not motivated by the verification. But you know what? It's hard to keep that pure motive when all of a sudden your songs are on the radio and you're doing these big tours, and all of a sudden your passion is your paycheck. It's really hard to keep the motivation pure. So here we are. Life had been going so well, song after song, tour after tour. We had some babies. We took them on the road. We bought a bigger bus. Now I'm backstage in a green room with a nursing baby and another little baby holding onto my leg. And I am over my head, like more over my head than I've ever been. And I hear this voice announcing us to get on stage. Love and the Outcome, husband and wife duo from Canada. And their new song's called You Got This. And I'm standing there and I'm yelling at the Lord as I try and get my skinny jeans over my hips and put on my sequin blazer. I couldn't fit into any of the clothes I'd picked. I was a new nursing mom on the road trying to be a rock star, and I was falling apart. And I just yelled, walking on stage, you got this, God? Because I don't. And with my red lipstick and the clothes that I'd slept in the night before, I shared where I was at. I was vulnerable and real, and it was messy and embarrassing, but I showed up to my real life again, like I had been doing for the past 10 years of my life, except it had gotten too hard to fake it to make it. I just had to be who I really was. And that was the beginning of the most freeing realization of my life, that you got this is not having it all together. It's showing up when you don't. Confidence is not pretending to be something you're not. It's being who you are, even on your hardest day. God used me in sweatpants, not sequins, praise the Lord. And that was a pivot point for me. And now here we are, showing up to our real life at home with no shows, with no applause, trying to figure out if we'll ever actually play a show again and what life will look like moving forward. It feels like everything that we've built has fallen apart. But you know what? It doesn't scare me as much as it used to. Because I know I've got this, because I know that that just means that I'm showing up where I am as I am. Poop on my shirt, sweatpants, sequins, good hair day, bad hair day, scared, worried, anxious, depressed, in the middle of a dream that I built sort of falling apart, but somehow it'll piece itself back together, but showing up nonetheless. You know, the times that I feel like a failure, the most like a failure, is when I'm trying to reach someone else's goals, someone else's, dream life, not my own. But when I am doing life the way I want to do it, dancing to the beat of my own drum, listening to that inner voice and that intuition, I don't feel like a failure. I know how to thrive, not barely survive in my worst season because I've practiced showing up, even when everything is falling apart. being who I really am, and my motivation is not my verification. My motivation is sharing the real me and giving others permission to be the real versions of themselves. The more that we can show up to our real lives day after day, moment by moment, in sequins or sweatpants, the stronger we get. So friend, no matter what season of life you're in, a success season, a waiting season, a building season, a thriving or a barely surviving season, keep showing up. You got this.
Thanks for listening in today, friends. This was really fun. Exciting for you.
Yeah.
My sweet wife.
Let's do it.
And I just wanted to let you know that we have started a Patreon a little while ago.
Yeah.
And you can go to www.patreon.com/loveandtheoutcome to check out what we have in store there. There's some special things that are only for Patreon members. There are 2 different price tiers that you can join up.
Yeah.
And, just stay in touch with what we're doing.
Yeah. I think you just put up a song from your old band.
Yes.
Or you're about to.
Yes.
Stuff like that we're not really sharing elsewhere. It's kind of a behind the scenes exclusive access to Love and the Outcome. So meet us there. Like always, if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs this in their life. Rate, review, subscribe, and check out Healing Hugs because they're just incredible, especially coming up to Mother's Day. They're doing a really special plug to help mothers that pray and care for their kids just like we do in America, but just are also dealing with poverty and illnesses and so many things. So let's support mothers in poor countries this Mother's Day through Healing Hugs. Check out the link.
I don't know the way, but you got this. Give me the faith that you got this. Even today, you got this. I know that I know that I know that you got this. Caught up in the same mistakes. You catch my fall when I fall on my face. I'm learning slowly. God, you show me. Yeah, yeah. There's a better way. There's a better way. I'd give you everything. Give you everything. I know it's true. I can count on you. I don't know the way, but you got this. Give me the faith that you got this. Even today, you got this. I know that I know that I know that you got this. Yeah, you got this. Give me the faith that you got this. Even today, you got this. I know that I know that I know that you got this. Breathe out. Feels good. Just shout it out. Shout it out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feels good. Just shout it out. Shout it out. I don't know the way, but you got this. Give me the faith that you got this. Even today, you got this. I know that I know that I know that you got this. Yeah, you got this. Give me the faith that you got this. Even today, you got this. I know that I know that I know that you got this. Give me the I know that I know that I know that you got this. Yeah, you got this. I know that I know that I know that you got this.
Well, how's this? An ad by me for my book. Start that. I thought it was sounding.